In today's video, we will discuss the biggest change in the history of kidney diet. There are 7 foods that have been unfairly banned from the kidney diet but are actually very beneficial for you. Today, I will completely change the way you view potassium, 7 foods with underrated benefits. There have been consistent improvements in GFR and other markers such as creatinine and insulin resistance, regardless of the stage of CKD they are experiencing. There is one diet that consistently delivers the best results, a diet rich in fruits and vegetables as much as possible, including those high in potassium. A large study focused on preventing and reversing CKD progression through diet. This study saw stage 4 patients completely halt disease progression. Some even reversed CKD thanks to a more alkaline diet. And do you know which foods are the most alkaline in your diet? Those are potassium-rich foods. Potassium is actually one of the most alkaline parts of your diet, and this is one of the reasons why, for some patients, eating more potassium-rich foods can actually help reduce not only creatinine levels but also serum potassium levels. So it's no surprise that patients who have stopped or reversed GFR decline in the literature were advised to eat more potassium-rich foods like potatoes, Brussels sprouts, kale, and broccoli. Yes, this has been clearly documented in the medical literature. Why are patients still being told to avoid these foods? Why are people still being advised to avoid potassium-rich foods even when they don't need to? Nowadays, many patients are still being misled to avoid a long list of foods because they contain potassium. If you search online for information about potassium in a renal diet, most websites will still provide you with this outdated information. If you search for how to prevent high potassium levels on their websites, one of the first answers will still be to limit potassium-rich foods, which is a completely wrong approach. As we've seen, you might think that the folks at DaVita missed a few update courses. The current guidelines for CKD, chronic kidney disease, clearly state, and I quote, "Potassium-rich foods do not need to be restricted because they offer other benefits that are beneficial for people with CKD." Now, remember that the researchers and doctors who wrote the DOKI guidelines are the real authorities here, not some blogger at DaVita. Yes, there is still a lot of misinformation going around, and all this confusion can be really bad for patients, unless patients are informed, like you are right now. So today, we will see the bright side of this whole mess. We will look at which foods you were told to avoid that are actually good for you and what their benefits are. We will also see who can eat them. Just one more thing before we look at the foods you may want to add to your diet. Always consult your doctor before making any changes to your diet. Patients with high serum potassium levels should not start eating potassium-rich foods immediately. They should first address the underlying cause of the problem, which is never the diet itself. More information about this will be in the next video. Now, let's get started with the top 7 foods you were told to avoid but are actually great for you. Number 7, red potatoes. It is unfortunate that kidney issues have led to the long-term restriction of consuming them. Besides their potassium content, potatoes are a gluten-free source of carbohydrates and have a low glycemic index, GI, if you cook them properly. So why would you want potatoes in your diet? Apart from the simple fact that they are delicious, potatoes are an excellent source of resistant starch. This type of starch is not fully broken down and absorbed by the body. Instead, it reaches the large intestine, where it serves as a food source for beneficial gut bacteria. Research has linked resistant starch to numerous health benefits, including improved insulin sensitivity, which in turn enhances blood sugar control. Among potatoes, red potatoes have the highest resistant starch content and the lowest glycemic index. Interestingly, you can also increase the resistant starch content of potatoes. To do this, store boiled potatoes in the refrigerator overnight and consume them cold. Now, a very important question: why are potassium-rich foods good for you? Potassium is one of the most crucial essential nutrients in human nutrition, and most people consume less potassium than they need. A potassium-rich diet can help reduce the risk of cardiovascular and kidney diseases, according to science. For individuals with CKD, chronic kidney disease, higher potassium intake is associated with reduced metabolic acidosis, decreased inflammation, reduced fibrosis or internal scarring in the kidneys, lower blood pressure, and a lower risk of heart problems. It even protects your bones. So, these are some of the benefits that all the foods in today's video will bring. Number 6. Bananas. Next food. Okay, here's the fruit that has been a symbol of potassium for a long time. Number 6. Bananas. Many people think of bananas when potassium is mentioned, but what if I told you that the latest studies show we get only a small fraction of the potassium from bananas that we once thought we did? Anyway, bananas are not just about potassium. They are also an excellent source of vitamin B6, which is crucial for healthy kidneys, as well as many antioxidants and phytonutrients. And if you have diabetes, well, eat unripe bananas. A large portion of the starch in unripe bananas is resistant starch, just like what we found in red potatoes. This is something you really want in your diet. In fact, unripe bananas have a GI, glycemic index, as low as 42. This starch turns into sugar as the banana ripens, so the greener the banana, the less sugar it has. But as always with diabetes, moderation is key with fruits. Now, is there any evidence that dietary potassium is actually not dangerous for those with CKD, chronic kidney disease? Potassium has been put on the list of things to avoid in an unscientific way. They just thought that when potassium is too high, restricting potassium intake is the only way. But just like what happened with cholesterol and other nutrients, there is very little direct correlation between the amount of something we get in our diet and the amount we have in our blood. Now, there are also cases where a patient has excessively high potassium levels in their blood. In those cases, a high potassium diet can actually cause problems. So, look at your last blood analysis and check how high your blood potassium levels are. Chances are your potassium levels are not too high, but if they are and you have more than 5.2 milliequivalents per liter of potassium in your blood, you will need to address that, and avoiding potassium-rich foods will not help. That's just a way to blame the patient. More information on this will be available in a moment. Before that, another potassium-rich fruit that is actually very good. This is a favorite fruit of dieters worldwide, and it comes with numerous health benefits. Number 3, avocado. Avocados are truly rich sources of vitamins. They are high in vitamins C, E, K, and B6, as well as riboflavin, niacin, folate, pantothenic acid, and magnesium. Avocados are packed with antioxidant and anti-inflammatory compounds that can protect your heart and kidneys from oxidative stress, which is linked to the progression of chronic diseases. And they are still rich in potassium, but the reason they are good for you is different. So, why should you add avocados to your diet? While most fruits are primarily composed of carbohydrates, avocados are rich in healthy fats instead. This makes them your kidneys and heart's best friend. Okay, researchers have found that avocados can protect the heart just like olive oil. Moreover, avocados will not spike your blood sugar levels, making them an excellent choice for people with diabetes. Now, a very important question: what should you do if your potassium levels are actually too high? According to statistics, 1 in 5 CKD, chronic kidney disease, patients has elevated potassium levels, and while it is easy from a doctor's perspective to blame dietary potassium, that won't help the patient. Elevated potassium levels are primarily due to factors unrelated to diet. According to current guidelines for CKD management, doctors should actively investigate other factors contributing to hyperkalemia before reducing dietary potassium intake. These factors include constipation, inadequate insulin therapy, untreated metabolic acidosis, insufficient dialysis, and medications. So, to be clear, this means that if your potassium levels are too high, your doctor should ensure that you are not constipated, you are taking enough insulin if you have diabetes, you are receiving dialysis frequently enough if you are on dialysis, you do not have metabolic acidosis, and also that the medications you are taking are not causing elevated potassium levels. Addressing these issues, which is very important for your health, will almost always significantly lower your blood potassium levels. This, in turn, will allow you to enjoy a potassium-rich diet and all the health benefits it offers. And speaking of foods you can actually enjoy, let's look at an antioxidant star with amazing flavor. Number 4, Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe is the perfect summer snack. This fruit is packed with potassium and other minerals, but it also contains antioxidants. Oxidative stress is one of the main processes that damage the kidneys, and a diet rich in antioxidants can really help. Now, there is another reason CKD patients might want to include cantaloupe in their diet: inositol, also known as vitamin B8. Inositol is an important nutrient for people with diabetes. In the body, it works similarly to metformin but is completely natural. There are studies linking this vitamin supplementation with rapid improvements in glucose levels and A1C levels in diabetic patients. Just remember that cantaloupe is quite sweet, so to maximize health benefits, moderation is key. Number 3, coconut. Next is a fruit that directly benefits the kidneys. Studies have shown that the oil from this fruit can be helpful in cases of kidney problems. Number 3, coconut. Coconut, like avocado, is higher in fat than carbohydrates, which is great, especially for those with diabetes. Now, most of the fat in coconut is in the form of medium-chain triglycerides, MCTs. These are the only type of fat that the body can use as an immediate energy source, just like carbohydrates but without causing an insulin spike. MCTs are excellent for the kidneys, especially in cases of diabetes, to the point that you can even supplement them in your diet in the form of oil. Studies have shown that they can improve insulin resistance and help overweight individuals lose weight. Now, as with the other fruits in this video, moderation is essential when consuming coconut because it is calorie dense. Number 2, broccoli. Our top 2 foods now, one of the healthiest vegetables you didn't know you could eat. Number 2, broccoli. Broccoli is undoubtedly one of the healthiest foods on earth, a true source of nutrition. It is known for its benefits to digestion, cardiovascular health, and the immune system, with anti-inflammatory and even cancer-preventive properties. It also has detoxifying properties, which are very useful for lowering creatinine levels and improving your kidney health, thanks to its unique phytochemicals. These plant compounds support all steps in the body's detox process, from activation to neutralization and elimination of pollutants. Just make sure not to overcook it to preserve its valuable nutrients. The best ways to cook these foods are to stir-fry for up to 5 minutes, steam for up to 20 minutes, or reheat in the microwave. Number 1, spinach. Alright, what could be healthier than broccoli? Our number 1, the most alkaline vegetable in the world, also known for its ability to lower blood pressure. Number 1 is spinach. Now, spinach is an incredibly healthy food that I have often recommended, even though it has a very high potassium content. And now, knowing that potassium is yet another reason to include spinach in your diet, you can finally enjoy the alkaline and kidney rejuvenating properties this vegetable provides. Following a truly alkaline diet is essential for those with kidney disease. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all.